It all started around a campfire. 50 years ago, a handful of people, driven by a fierce love for nature, founded Oregon Wild. Together around those flames, we saw the wild as something sacred, humbling in its mystery and complexity, valuable for what it is, not for what can be taken from it. But just because the wild is sacred doesn't mean it's safe. Oregon's wild places and wildlife are under constant threat.
I would say that we're definitely in serious jeopardy of losing a paradise.
Trees that are 500, 800 years old are now being cut down, are being clear cut.
Logging really is still the primary threat to a lot of our forested ecosystems in the state.
When you go to a place that's been clear cut, you can feel the pain that you're inflicting on the forests.
That threat sparked something inside each of us, ignited us into action, catalyzed our awe for nature into an unrelenting fight to honor the wild and protect it fiercely.
We are fighting over the last of the ancient forests.
I think there's always been a fighting spirit at Oregon Wild. I turned to Oregon Wild because it was very clear that they were the most effective and the most powerful and the most willing to litigate.
Since 1974, we've protected nearly 2 million acres of wilderness, over 2,000 miles of rivers, vast stretches of old-growth forests, countless endangered species.
The thing about environmentalists are that we may be hell to live with sometimes, but we make great ancestors.
I'm so thankful to those people who came before me and put in all the years, the long days, the hard work to get these bills passed that protect these places.
There's nothing like passing a big wilderness bill. There's nothing like it. It's important to get things designated, get wilderness designated, protect things proactively.
This is one of those places that the Forest Service had planned to log it, and it's groups like Oregon Wild and others that had said, hey, wait a second, what you really need ultimately is wilderness.
I love looking at these old pictures.
It's just great to see this list of our top 5 endangered streams and to realize that they're not endangered anymore.
None of it came easy. Fighting against the odds, we've achieved victories for wild places and wildlife that can't speak for themselves.
I've never seen a spotted owl testify before Congress. There are places that can't speak for themselves. There are species that can't speak for themselves. They obviously need people to go do the work for them.
We wish to emphasize that it is the continued clear-cutting of the Northwest ancient forests that most threatens the Pacific U.
When we see our forests as natural resources to steward rather than simply as piggy banks, amazing things happen. Oregon Wild has seen it on the ground.
Knowing that all life is interconnected, we fight for the small and the big.
Centuries-old trees.
Volcanic peaks.
The Eagle Cap Wilderness.
Your favorite trail.
The aquamarine waters of the Metolius River.
The moss.
The high desert.
Clean, cold, and abundant water.
50 years later, we're still resolute in our fight for nature. We have momentum. We're greater in number than those who sat around that first campfire, but we share their same tenacious spirit. Our love for nature burns inside us, illuminating a path for a brighter future.
The work needs to keep happening, and it may be even more important now than ever.
The most urgent and imminent threat is climate change. We have such a limited amount of time to really make the changes that we need to fight back.
In 70 years, we're going to need habitat for all kinds of critters here, especially with climate change.
I think it says something good about us if we can make room on the landscape and in our hearts for all native wildlife, not just to exist, but to actually thrive.
For the next 50 years and beyond, we'll keep fighting to protect nature, guarding habitat with all we've got, pushing back on reckless exploitation and short-term profit, standing for all who depend on Oregon's wilderness, now and for future generations.
The only reason any wild place exists today is because somebody stood up to protect them. And very often that somebody is Oregon Wild.
I get to work alongside such a fantastic crew to protect what makes Oregon so special. You have to just keep up the good fight even when times are hard.
I truly believe in the power of grassroots activism. That's one thing I learned from Oregon Wild, was that there's always hope. There's always a way. Be patient, be persistent.
The wild has called. It's in us to answer, to let nature live. Let nature last.